Hello, I'm Bonnie Barnes, one of the co-founders of the Daisy Foundation. Our partnership with Chamberlain University is so important to us that I am delighted to have a couple of minutes to share with you why we do what we do at Daisy and why you mean so much to us. 23 years ago, at the end of 1999, my stepson Patrick died of complications of the autoimmune disease ITP. And as you can see from the picture behind me, he was not a little kid. He and his wife Tina had just given us our first grandchild 6 weeks before he woke up one morning with some peculiar symptoms. He went to the doctor and found out he had a dangerously low platelet count, and very quickly the doctor sent him to the hospital. Well, when Mark, my husband, and I heard that he was in the hospital, we flew to Texas, where they lived at the time, to be with him, thinking he'd be in the hospital just a couple of days and we'd get a little more time with our new granddaughter, who we had just met a month or so before, and then we'd get back with our lives. But that's not what happened. Patrick got very sick early on in his hospitalization, and I will spare you the horrible details of the following 8 weeks, but suffice it to say, at the end of 2 months, he died. Well, when he died, we started talking very quickly about what we could do to help keep his very special spirit alive, and what we could do to help fill that gaping hole in our hearts that his death had left, and fill it with something positive, because we had been in such a dark place for those 8 weeks in the hospital. As we reflected on our experience in the hospital, we realized there was something very special that had gone on while Patrick was there, and that was the care of his nurses. We had expected they would be excellent from a clinical perspective, and they were. But what we didn't expect was the way they delivered their care. Patrick's nurses were so compassionate, so thoughtful and kind and sensitive, not only to him, but to all of us in our family. And when he died, we realized how filled with gratitude we were to the nurses who took care of Patrick. And we surmised that they were not unique. This is who nurses are. And we needed to find a way to say thank you to nurses. So we created DAISY. It stands for Diseases Attacking the Immune System, to keep us rooted in our experience with Patrick and his nurses. And we created the DAISY Award as a way for patients and families and coworkers to share their stories of extraordinary, compassionate care that truly made a difference in their experience, just like Patrick's nurses made a difference in ours. Well, when we started the program, we introduced it into hospitals and healthcare facilities. And in 2010, we had a dean of nursing on our board of directors. And we were sitting at a board meeting, and at the time it took place at our dining room table, because we're a family who does this work. And this nursing dean looked at my husband and me and said, "You know, someone had to teach those nurses who took care of your Patrick." Well, this was an epiphany. And what made the conversation even more special was the fact that all of the chief nursing officers on our board couldn't wait to talk about the impact faculty members had had on them when they were students, and that had been some time in the past. They also wanted us to understand what the work of nursing faculty was about, and by the time they were finished, we knew we needed to find a way to express gratitude to faculty members, as well as nursing students who were doing clinical work at the bedside or chairside while they were doing their rotations in nursing school. We needed to have a way to say thank you to all of you. So we created DAISY Awards for extraordinary nursing faculty and extraordinary nursing students. We are so proud of the fact that today, DAISY is honoring nurses, faculty, and students in more than 5,800 healthcare facilities and nursing schools, not only throughout the United States, but in 36 other countries as well. You all are part of an extraordinary global community, and we could not be more proud of the fact that you honor your faculty and your students with the DAISY Award, and you do it so beautifully. Every year, Mark and I are delighted to participate. Well, you may also see behind me one of my most cherished DAISY things, and that is the diploma giving me and Mark an honorary doctorate of humane letters from Chamberlain University. This is something that just means the world to us, just as our partnership with Chamberlain does. I mean, to be recognized by such an esteemed university and to be able to partner with people who so understand what we do and why we do it and who work so hard to help us advance our mission. Well, I can't tell you how special that is and what you all mean to us. So we hope that this introduction to Daisy, if you're not that familiar with us, helps you understand what our partnership is about. There are many things we get to do together, and I hope that I'll get to meet many of you and we can participate in some activity together soon. But please know, most importantly, we are here to say thank you. Thank you to you who are making a great education for nursing students happen, for being compassionate educators, and for creating the nurses who are receiving the Daisy Award, because you inspire them to care for their patients and families, not only with their brains, but also with their hearts. Thank you. Thank you for all you do every day, and thank you for your partnership with the Daisy Foundation. So long.